Hello, everyone. Wimburn here. 2024 is on the way, but I want to make a reflection of why 2023 was the worst year for me. There have been some good things that happened to me, but a lot of bad. This will just be my reflection of this year. But if you don't want to listen to this long reflection or this long talk, then I'll give a TDLR. Too long didn't read, or too long didn't listen. Although it won't be as detailed as this reflection. So to shorten this year I had the worst anxiety. I felt left out, especially online, and I've been seeing a counselor, which has been helping. The positive things is that I finished volume one of my original comic this year, which I got officially copyrighted back in October, and I'm doing well in college. Now, if you're sticking around, I'll be explaining my full reflection. I typed this up in Google Docs. I typed all of this up in Google Docs before falling asleep, and I'd rather tell my thoughts than write it. Actually, I did write on Google Docs, but I didn't put it on my blog or anything. If I were to put this on my blog, I feel like no one would read it, no one would understand. So now for the actual full reflection. When I feel anxious, I tend to feel shaky. I feel my chest thumping, but it could be possibly heart palpitations or just related to anxiety. And I fidget my hands around or mess with my fingernails. And I also walk around the house if I need to. So before we get on to the negatives, let's actually focus on the positives first. February of this year was when I completed volume one of my comic. It felt satisfying to write and to draw out each chapter in Procreate. And if you don't know what Procreate is, it's a drawing app for for the iPad. Like, yeah, I've just been using it more than Photoshop. Like, I started drawing in Photoshop on my old computer until halfway to 2021. I think that's when I switched to Procreate. But I won't reveal the name and characters, but I will explain smaller details. Chapters 4 and 5 were my favorite to write and to draw out, like working on character expressions and doing character designs and all that. Um, I was inspired by 80s and 90s anime. Like, I've been watching a lot last year. I haven't been watching much this year except for Dr. Slump and Magical Taruto Kun, which are currently getting fan subs. Dr. Slump is currently almost finished getting sub. I think there's 243 episodes um, total, but I do recommend Dr. Slump and Magical Taruto. Both are goofy animes. Um, for Magical Taruto, there are some naughty scenes and stuff, but it's not as bad. It is done by the guy who did Golden Boy, and I haven't seen that anime except for a clip on Instagram. So, I was inspired by 80s and 90s anime such as original Dragon Ball, and the art is inspired by several anime artists such as Akira Toriyama and Ken Sugimori, the illustrator, the guy who did Pokemon. And I have a 4-part series on my WordPress blog titled, sorry, I'm talking so fast, titled Artists That I'm Inspired By, and I suggest you check that out if you have the time. I'm still working on future chapters. I already have names planned, future stories to tell, and at the time of this recording, I am typing up volume 2 and making a short animation based on one of my characters from the comic. And also, to add on to my Google Doc right in front of me, um, I have a planned like blog, and also I built a website for promoting my comic, like promoting it. But my blog, it'll have like more stuff than the actual website that I built in Weebly. It'll have like fan questions. I'm thinking about that one blog by the I think he's the creator of Gargoyles, but Greg Weisman, I think that's how you say it. He has like a blog where I kid you not, there's a lot of questions about like the comics, the series, like it's like he's building out. He has it's a lot, but basically my blog promoting my comic will have like fan questions, the world, and all that than the actual website. So just to let you know. Moving on. Other positives that happened to me was successfully getting my comic copyrighted back in October, making the dean's list 3 times at my college for summer, um, actually spring, summer, and fall quarter. And if you don't know what the dean's list is, it's just for students who have a high GPA, I believe, and just getting A's and stuff. And then having my original mental health comic that I made last year for my English class appear in a writing magazine for my college. And I just don't know when it will be published. I know it's going to be digital, but I just don't know when it will be published. But at the time of this recording, they still haven't published it yet, and I didn't get any notifications in my school email. And I'm just doing well in my college, and I'm making new friends, and I'm just close to graduating, possibly next year. I'm just not sure, or 2025. Um, Let me think. I forgot what I was going to say, but whatever. But let's actually move on to my negatives, and there are a lot. Boy, this is going to be a pretty long video because of how much I typed. But this year, I had the worst anxiety and sadness. There's personal stuff which I'm not going to explain or talk about since I'm keeping it private and confidential. But somewhere around February or March, I took a long, maybe 4 month break away from social media, and I believe it was during the Walking Week, the Pokemon Terror Raid event that they had when they announced the DLC. Before I talk about social media, let's get on to my first topic, Pokemon. Um, I remember feeling the most frustrated during the Walking Wake raid because I didn't have Nintendo Switch Online. I just refused to pay for it, and I know you need it to like play with others online. But I've seen what happened with I've seen bad stuff happen in terror raids and stuff. Like sometimes issues happen, like even if you have good connection, the game acts up, and I've seen people bring like magic carps to terror raids. No, I'm not. But doing the walking wake raid frustrated me, but I did catch it, and I felt relieved. Like I was just forced to level up my Pokemon to 100, put some good moves in there. The clear amulet really helped. The clear amulet item, but I talked about it more in my why I rarely play video games video. Um, I do want to add on. So during the Miss Maggie's raid event, which happened back in October, I remember getting so mad and I remember shouting at my dad, telling him to go away and just having a breakdown. And I was like paranoid. I was panicked, thinking I would miss the event. And I nearly threw my controller. But I did take deep breaths after dad and I talked, and then got back on the game and just caught it. And I have Scarlet version, which is why I participated. And the recent Dialga, that's how you say it, Dialga raid, I thought I wouldn't catch it, and I just said to myself, I can't do this. Like, why are you putting legendaries in these terror raids? And I'm just betting, oh, maybe he'll be in DLC or something. I don't know. But I beat it in one try using Sylveon, and I refuse to do 6 and 7 star raids. I just didn't do the Mewtwo raid because of nightmarish it was doing it solo. I'm not doing it. But I refuse to do it because I know it'll be a nightmare for me. But do check out my why rarely play video games video for more information or whatever. I do recommend that video. Check it out, even though I didn't get any comments on it. I kind of lost hope for future Pokemon games and some modern games because I feel more frustrated, and the Pokemon fan base has gotten toxic and cruel, especially on Twitter or X. Scarlet and Violet is a buggy laggy mess, but I did enjoy the main story, and I've already said that in my um, quick thoughts Pokemon Scarlet video. Have you ever heard of the infamous Van Gogh Museum incident and scalpers putting Van Gogh Pikachu cards and plushies on eBay? Like that event was a disaster. I remember uploading a fun Pokemon short on my channel back in April and then later privating it because of mean comments, even though I could have disabled it, but still I just didn't want to put the video out there. I just felt like I just too scared. I was too embarrassed. And sorry my voice. All the comments made me anxious and shaky and I had a worse breakdown on that day. And speaking of shorts, I disabled comments on some shorts and feature ones so I don't get and read any mean comments that pop up in my email. Every day I scroll on YouTube or Twitter, it's always someone complaining about Pokemon. There's always drama and stuff. And I feel like I want to distance myself away from the franchise. I love Pokemon and the designs and characters will always be in my heart, but some of the fans, the people online are just scaring me away. And also, I lost hype for new games or for some new stuff, Pokemon or not Pokemon related. So if you just don't see me talking about oh, they announced a new game, but I just don't talk about it, yeah, you can tell I'm just losing hype. Um, Negative number two, social media. I took a long break from social media back in March because besides the Walking Wake event that frustrated me until I caught it, that and it also made me avoid my timeline, Tumblr and Twitter timeline. Being a small artist and beginner voice actress fitting in a giant community of people online is hard. Also, I'm not on it much, mostly Twitter because I have to avoid spoilers on certain games or movies I'm interested in, mostly Pokemon. When I scroll, I feel sad when I see someone at a convention, they get an art commission or just have beautiful looking art. And especially with some voice actors I follow who go to conventions. Um, this year I've been to no cons and I just felt more isolated. And I felt like that I had an accident episode, SpongeBob, where he enjoyed the indoors more than outside. Also, I kind of lost trust in other people online. That's why I stopped doing follow backs or stopped following people I don't know. Back around 2021 and 2022, I know that some artists on Instagram come up to me asking them to check out their page and follow them, and I do just that. But when I kept seeing it in my DMs, I got a little annoyed and I just know they're just looking for more likes and followers, so I just stopped. But I get you're talented, but I can't follow you back unless you've been kind to me and I trust you. But I was trying to follow some people that I didn't want to see anymore, especially on Twitter because my timeline is a mess, a nightmare. And also, I feel left out, and my counselor already knows about it. When I'm away from social media, I feel paranoid that people are leaving me. No one commissioned me this year, and I was trying to push commissions art commissions as hard as I could. Plus, my Ko-fi Gold membership expired this month, and if someone commissions me, I think I have to pay a 5% fee. I just don't know. But I know that if you don't have Ko-fi, if you have Ko-fi Gold, you have a 0%. You have a 0% fee on commissions in your shop. But if you don't have Ko-fi Gold, you have to pay like a 5% fee, which is ridiculous. But I haven't paid for a Ko-fi Gold because I've been finding it pointless. Even though I still promote it a bit, like I just found it pointless if no one donate or commission me. And also, the second time I took a break away from social media was back in November because of classes, to get away from social media because of my mental health and to focus on my own stuff. Speaking of paying, that leads me into negative number 3, spending more money. I started spending more before Cyber Monday. That's when it's because I didn't have a great Thanksgiving and I felt depressed. I wanted to feel satisfied and to distract myself away from the negativity, the negative thoughts, the negative feelings. You know what I bought? Plushies. The Dragon Tales plushies, Build-A-Bear Mew, like all those plushies you saw in my Fuecoco video. Like you saw my videos, but all that spending almost led me to empty my wallet. Like that, my wallet was nearly down. It wasn't in the negative. Like I tried to avoid that, but it was just almost gone. And my dad told me that he isn't bothered by me spending my money, but if I overspent it, he knows something is wrong. I was afraid to tell him, just avoiding him and staying quiet in the truck when he drove me to my college for classes. But when he found out, I came up in his room and I remember telling my dad that I felt like giving up on my life because I felt ignored. Back in 2021, I did a similar thing where I spent a lot of money. Negative number 4, feeling alone or left out. Speaking of giving up, when I was gone from social media, June or July, I did a scary thing. Ran away from home. And you know why? Well, I just don't want to talk about it since I'm keeping it personal. But I was nearly gonna leave this world. My health teacher from high school was right. Social media leads to depression. When I say I feel left out, I mean that I feel like a ghost. Like, no one wants to talk to me or they just don't see me. Like, for example, most recently during my Tuesday hair appointment, 2 people walked in and this guy and a little girl got some attention from like the people working at the salon. And I felt like I wanted to cry, but I was just scared to cry in a public hair salon. I have friends on my phone who text me back or on Instagram, but because I'm introverted and anxious, I don't text back. Sometimes until like later on at night, I just don't know. And I draw on my iPad or play my game on my Switch. I made some friends in my voiceover class that I took back in February, but I haven't been interacting in the Discord group chat that much. I've been rarely using Discord halfway through 2023. The next negative I have is not feeling motivated. This one is just short, but sometimes when I go to my iPad to draw or want to voice act, my brain just tells me no. I haven't been drawing except for my art class and voice acting much this year. I lost that motivation because of my anxiety, but hopefully I can change that in 2024. Now, this one is important because it's about making videos. I started my channel by the name Cloudora. Some of you already know that if you've been sticking around, but I used to make meme edits and stuff, but I enlisted those videos because I didn't like them. They didn't fit on the channel because I was changing my name. I was rebranding. And I despise a Pokemon meme edit I made. The final straw for me that led me to unlisting some of my videos was a comment I made. A comment a person posted on one of my shorts telling me why I disable comments on my Pokemon meme edit that blew up. And all those older videos were edited on my now slow and old computer that's having storage issues, and my video editing software is outdated and crashes sometimes. I now record video on my new computer and edit in the web version of CapCut. And I used to edit in CapCut on my iPad, but I edit on my computer now. And I'm just working with limited equipment, so bear with me. But because of my anxiety and feeling down, making videos hasn't been fun for me anymore, and I rarely do them. If I upload a drawing process or do a voice acting video, it's fine, but making regular videos isn't fun. I my I tried Pokemon Sleep video was a painful one for me because someone suggested I use a screen recorder, and I just refused to do that because I felt paranoid that I would have like a low storage message pop up on my phone despite my phone having no storage issues or the recorder not picking up my voice. So it's why I recorded using my terrible animation web camera instead. And yes, that web camera is used for animation. I don't know when I got it though, but it's just for taking photos of drawing and putting them together to create an animation in a software. So it's the only video that's around 40 minutes. And after uploading, I can't make another 40-minute video because it was a pain to edit CapCut, and I felt like I wasted my time with it, only getting one comment. Speaking of CapCut, that site has been seeing some updates, and sometimes it will have issues, mostly lag. In my first updates video, I said that I had plans on uninstalling Pokemon Sleep, and I did days after that upload because one, the game isn't fun for me anymore. Two, the game isn't tracking my sleep correctly, although I had my phone in my bed and was sleeping well, which ruined my 100% perfect streak. Like, I was trying to get a 100% streak, but it got ruined, and it made me upset that I uninstall it. And three, I don't like the idea of putting your phone on your bed charged and sleeping next to it, and an option to buy an accessory just for an extra Pikachu to help you. I I know the app is seeing updates and improvements, but I'm not going back on the app anymore. I now use an app called Slumber that my counselor suggested to me, and I listen to peaceful waves or rain noises to help me relax and fall asleep. I know it's not a sleep tracker, but it's been helping me get good rest because I have trouble falling asleep. I usually find myself falling asleep at like 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. sometimes. Alright, back to the topic of making videos. My most recent video, my Dragon Tales plush collection, I was expecting several people to reply to it, saying that they remember the show or that sorry, that they had, or that they had some of the plushies as a kid. But minutes after uploading it, I got 2 comments from the same person. They were nice. I did heart the comments. I did reply to them, but it just really wasn't, reading their comment, it just wasn't what I expected. But it feels like I'm done making plush review videos. However, if Tomy releases like a Quaxley plush that's related to the Fui Coco and Sprigatio plush I reviewed, then I will make a video of that, and then I'm just done after that. That Dragon Tales video was my final push for documenting plushies and stuff, but no one really cared. I feel like I want to retire again, making videos and move on with my life, doing things that make me happy. And I know I haven't been watching people I'm sub to because it makes me sad and left out, and the site has gone downhill too. I feel paranoid about losing this channel, even though I'm doing the right thing. But I don't know if I'll continue in the future. Speaking of retiring, back in 2020, some of you are aware that I run an account called Daily Launch, where I post images, GIFs, or videos every day of one of my favorite Dragon Ball characters, Launch. Halfway through 2023, I made a pinned tweet saying that I can't continue on because of my anxiety in college. I will retire from it at the end of December so that I can move on with my life. The account will stay up until June 2024, where I will deactivate it for good. It's been a good 3 years running the account, and the scheduling feature on Twitter has been helping. Besides that, Besides that account, I have plans on deleting my Discord server, which is private. It used to be public, but people kept entering and leaving, and arguments happened. And I didn't know how to manage a Discord server myself when I first made it. And I just couldn't take it anymore and I deleted the public link. But I'm deleting my private server because I can't manage it myself, which I already said. And it's not as active anymore. Usually only one person's active. And speaking of Discord servers, I don't interact much on public servers. Because of my shyness and the fear of people kicking me out, or the moderators, whatever you call them, even though I'm doing the right thing, I just refuse to join another one. I'm currently in two public servers at the time of this recording, and I'm also a moderator in one of them, like one of my friends' servers, my best friend servers. But again, I rarely use Discord now. In conclusion, 2023 was the worst year for me. This was the year where I had the worst anxiety and several fears. When 2024 comes, I hope to change. In the future, I see my comic getting published. In the future, I see myself improving with my art and voice acting skills. And in the future, I am no longer an anxious and introverted person. I will be taking a long pause from making videos to focus on my life. However, I may still upload drawing processes or voice acting videos if I'm in the mood, or if I have that motivation, or if I just want to. But here's to 2024. Yeah. Thank you for listening and understanding my feelings and my thoughts. It might sound like I'm crying, but I'm not. I'm just tired and my voice is like a little deep. But thank you for listening and thank you for understanding how I'm feeling. Take care.